Windows XP reached its 20th anniversary back on October 25th, 2021. And for such glorious event, I built an all-new Windows XP computer out of unused and sealed parts. Constructing it was a joyful time, although not without complications. I strongly recommend you watch the first part of the series before proceeding with this video. It's an hour long, although every second of it is worthwhile. Trust me, it was a hell of a ride. Even though it's my dream computer and I'd close my eyes on its flaws no matter what, the build is not perfect and I have to admit it. And in this episode I'm going to tackle most of the issues present on that machine, as well as unbox some new updated parts, sealed as well. There's also going to be a little surprise at the end, so keep watching and don't spoil yourself. I wanted to start simple with problems mentioned in the anniversary video, hence I ordered the PC speaker, the AC97 extension cord, and a Molex wire with support for multiple fans. The PCI Express card I couldn't find a good substitute for yet. God damn it, China. The PC speaker is an easy fix and a great addition. I got it in bulk for a really cheap price. It's like what, $5? Here they are. I only need one for this build though, so let's unbox. Seems like it got stuck in there, but that's no problem. Here's how that thing looks. The installation process is a charm, especially that the front panel connectors are fairly easy to reach. Same could not be said about the AC97 connector though, which is stuck behind the video card body. I decided to wait till I find a proper replacement for the PCI Express card to then kill two birds with one stone naturally. That didn't happen back then yet, but the Molex extension wire arrived shortly after. It allows to connect up to 4 different fans at once. Although no monitoring, of course, since it's just a power cable that doesn't transfer data, it's not a problem to me. So I set it up and it worked perfect. I had to use another adapter which is SATA to Molex because Molex is still mostly the standard for cooling parts and I've got no Molex output left in that PSU. The fan on the back, previously left out, was now engaged. By that point I thought I was almost done. Most of the hardware issues were eliminated. Besides, I finally found the USB hub I wanted. It would take close to 1 month to ship from United States, but in the meantime I found a nice little sticker saying designed for Windows XP from a seller in Germany. Obviously the shipping took way less, so here's the sticker. I was really pumped at first because it looked like it would fit right beside the Intel sticker, but unfortunately it was a 1/4 of an inch shy, which made it look pretty bad in my opinion. Luckily I realized it early, so it didn't glue into the case. I quickly relocated it to the bottom part, and would you look at that, I think it's a golden spot. Here's the better recording. I was too lazy to take out the studio lights for that. Righty, so I was already dreaming about the third part where I add miscellaneous things to the anniversary computer. But as I was rewatching the initial video, don't ask why, I love rewatching my own videos at times, I found that the power light stopped working amid the building process. I was quick to start up the machine to confirm that the power light was in fact dead. That was annoying because I was about to receive the USB hub package and call it a day with the hardware aspect of the Ultra XP. Well, the power light blew up and this was unplanned, so I had to delay this episode until I didn't even know when. So everything fell apart like a card house rather quickly. So it's January by this point. I passed my uni exams, a huge, massive spring break. Awesome, that would be the time to upload, right? Nope. I had to order LED lights. I ordered them the same day. I expected it to arrive in like 2 weeks perhaps. You wish. 2 weeks after, the life hit me in the balls. And then the war started. And then the semester started under a COVID lockdown. It lasted a week, and only after that they arrived. After 2 months, on the 5th of March. I'm still pissed about it. But anyway, that's a 30-minute job, nothing serious, just a bit of soldering. Oh boy, if only you knew how difficult it is to film while soldering. In case you're wondering why I'm using a masking tape here, I don't have a wire installation, and the nearest mom and pop Radio Shack is about 20 kilometers away from me. And it's time to test it out. Nice! Although it feels a little brighter than its hard drive counterpart, it still works well. The delay was always there. Also, while I was preparing to rearrange stuff in my room, I found that the camera had scratches on it, and for some reason it became dirty. I got sad at first, but then I decided to try to clean it up with vodka. The cotton pad I used suddenly turned yellow, and it appeared to have collected some sticky gunk. I wasn't sure the cotton pad was effective enough, thus I went with my fingernail. Watch how easily it came off, although the ethanol in vodka slowly dissolving the sticky film from the bottom contributed, I'm fairly certain. I then leveled up to a toothbrush, and the gunk just started shooting around. I had to wipe the table afterwards. Finishing up with another cotton pad, and now that's looking much better. Even better than it was when I first unboxed it. It got some kind of a clean, glossy shine to it. Take a look. Finally, after a slight detour, it was about time to get rid of the PCI Express card and replace it with a period correct sealed part. Thanks China, you served me well. I found interesting, the new USB hub was manufactured by the same company that produced the case for the Ultra XP machine. And yes, I named the anniversary machine Ultra XP after that company. I don't know why it went out of business. They manufactured fairly affordable and high quality parts for the time they existed. At least in my view, all their products I purchased were good quality. And indeed, this product is no different. It's very well packaged, almost as if it was premium. That question does not leave my head to this day, but I guess there are different reasons for companies to go bankrupt. Inside we got the card itself, with a VIA chip, produced on the other side of China called Taiwan. Oh well, I guess it's just a sealed PCI card without aids on its surface. Under the foam on the bottom, we've got a registration card, a detailed manual, and oh, look at this tiny cute guy. This is a 3-inch DVD. I love these tiny discs. The best part is how confused people get when it comes to reading from such media. They weren't that rare, but definitely way less widespread than normal DVDs. And the best part is that most optical drives support them. There's a special indent at the bottom of your disk tray, or if you're using a laptop it just mounts like a normal disk. Many people soften when they see kittens or little ducklings, but real nerds are crying when they see mini DVDs. And now to the AC97 extender. There is nothing specific about it, and I've got no exciting information on the topic. It's just an extender. It looks like that. One thing for sure though, it's gonna fix a rather obnoxious problem in the computer. And to get access to the audio port on the motherboard, I have to unscrew the video card first. Here's the HD audio wire that doesn't have enough length. I explained the difference between AC97 and HD audio wires in a previous episode. Basically, AC97 is inferior, but I had to use it because HD audio wire was too short. Surprisingly, it's very difficult to pair the extender with the wire, but I managed with the help of pliers. They don't connect all the way in, but that's way more than enough to hold contact. This issue had been pesting me for a long time, since I'm a perfectionist, but it's finally been fixed after so long. I'm really glad. Switch the cards real quick. And plug the extender in. That concludes the hardware component of Ultra XP. All that's left is to screw in the video card and close the lid. As for the cable management, I think it's decent. I kept track of it since the beginning, and in my opinion, it did not get worse. The insides might look messy, but in reality, all vital sections are open and simple to reach, and that's all that matters. To my surprise, once the computer booted up, the drivers installed by themselves. That's the first such occurrence in its lifetime. Though it's a generic via USB hub and drivers automatically installed by Windows XP could suffice, I still took my time to discover the official DVD. At last, they didn't include it for no reason. I'll be honest with you, I just wanted to play with a tiny disc. However, not all included drivers are necessarily the best pick. I learned it best from several obnoxious software-related problems on the machine that I've been actively combating since I built the computer. The Ultra XP could be running perfectly fine offline for the past 9 months, granted, because I chose to install every driver from an included optical disc. That does indeed seem like a fail-safe option. Why would vendors include a disc that installs an incorrect, outdated driver? Wait, outdated? That's right. Some of the hardware in that machine is almost as old as Windows XP, meaning the disc that comes along with the box is almost the same age as Windows XP also. There could be improvements in newer versions, but that went over my head. I'm stupid. I spent all my time fighting non-existent problems. For instance, here's one of them. Half-Life 2 could not run on Ultra XP. It would always crash with the same error called D3D out of video memory, basically stating that the Direct 3D device that Half-Life 2 created used too many resources simultaneously. At times, it would crash on the startup sequence as well. It behaved weirdly in general. So why is that error a pile of trash? The thing is, Portal ran just fine. And considering Portal, first of all, is a newer game, it's more GPU intensive, it has the same startup sequence, and the same engine.
Achieved with
Source.
And it's literally Half-Life 2 sugar-coated. It just worked. Half-Life 2 didn't. I was pulling my hair out. How could it be? What kind of black magic is that? Hold on. You might ask a fair question. How did you film yourself playing Half-Life 2 then? Funny enough, I spent so much time brute forcing that problem that I managed to get it to run. Once in 100 attempts. I was blasted. I literally didn't change a thing. How could a D3D device create with a success rate of 1 in 100? I took it like a champ though. I created a script that would spam HL2-save, which would use the lowest rendering settings. That raised the success rate to about 1 in 20, and considering I had to film it once, it was a viable solution. That error became my arch nemesis over the span of 9 months, and it was the greatest enigma I always had in the back of my mind. That all changed within a snap once I decided to update video drivers. Officially there wasn't an update to the video card inside Ultra XP, but I just went full in, all or nothing. First I installed a WDM driver from ATI, which is an addition. That's not the main point. Next, I got the hardware ID of my GPU, pasted it into Google, opened the first website. There was of course nothing relevant to my machine, which is the point where I stopped all the times before that. I just couldn't find the appropriate driver. However, now I found an upload from 2009 by Acer. Of course, it isn't supposed to be installed on Ultra XP, it's not an OEM machine, but I've got nothing to lose, I'm fed up with this. I can always boot to safe mode in case something goes wrong anyway. Installation was successful, although it took a little bit longer than it should have. Okay, after a reboot, it asked me to install NetFramework 2.0, so I did. Seems like the venture was worth it. Some new options appeared inside of the advanced display properties, confirming that the driver was of an updated version, or at least a different one. The control center refused to work, but it wasn't my biggest concern at the time. I was tempted to run Half-Life 2. Let's give it a shot. It is already looking way more promising than before. Ladies and gentlemen, first try. All it took was an updated driver from an OEM that's not supposed to be supported on my computer. Great. I love it. The D3D error was no more, and the Half-Life 2 experience was now actually enjoyable. Let's go! It even runs in native resolution, albeit in an exchange for the lower frame rate. Well, I mean starts up. Running it was never an issue. Oh, and in case you wondered, the Catalyst control center fixed itself after reboot. It's probably because I did not reboot after installing NetFramework initially. So, the problem is fixed. Thank God. It wasn't bloodless, but we take what we can get. My main enemy was not the D3D error anyway, it was a huge networking issue I was yet to fix. And I didn't even know where to start. For reference, the wireless G PCI adapter inside Ultra XP just could not connect to my home network, or any network whatsoever. The only time I got it working was when I removed the password from my mobile hotspot. Of course, that was super annoying to do, and needed to be fixed as soon as possible. The temporary fix was simple. I just bought 2 random USB adapters in a tech shop when returning from uni. Judging by the box, they supported Windows XP, so I just plugged one of them in, installed drivers, and it worked fine. Still, it's temporary. Even though we all know there's no more permanent fix than a temporary one. First of all, I decided to roll the dice with drivers again. I actually went further in exploring the software possibilities online about networking more than anything. I went almost as far as calling the adapter dead, because I literally tried every driver online. I even tried mailing the customer support of Cisco. That's how desperate I was. For your information, their customer support was down. I'm not happy with their service. I'm by no means a networking expert, but I know a little bit, so I also gave the adapter a benefit of a doubt. I tried to assign a static IP address to the MAC of the adapter in router settings. You know, maybe the DHCP service is at fault in Windows XP. It did not work. And thus, I didn't know what to do or where to start at all. I was lost. So I just decided to Google the hardware ID again. And what's your guess? Yes, I repeated the same procedure over again. I first uninstalled the device and then updated the driver in the device manager. For some obscure reason, this operation also took twice as long. Lucky shot? Your guess is in. I'm connecting to the network. Yeah, it just connected. You saw it yourself. Took me a while to realize because I'm that used to network failures in this machine. The reaction to the first successful connection was pretty golden too. Watch. Apparently it was that easy. Oh my god, man. I was breaking my fucking head for 2 weeks at the beginning when I built this computer. How do you fix this? Apparently you just download the first link you find on Google, you install the driver, and that's it. Dude, you know, I'm pretty happy with this, but you know, it took me like 9 months. Yes, you heard correctly. I spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how to fix the wireless adapter to no avail. Just to give you a time frame to work with, this is a recording from July 15th. I built the computer back in August 2021. This is how painful the networking problem was on Ultra XP. Now that it's fixed, it's now was. Most likely you don't feel the happiness through my current emotionless speech, but it was a huge victory and a morale boost for me. What better way to celebrate is there than revisiting games that were crippled due to missing features? Let's check out Dangerous Dave, the game that requires a PC speaker that is now present, and the one I had to make up sound effects for. That's so much better, even though the PC speaker sounds much deeper and louder in real life. The camera does not 100% capture the beauty of the single almighty voice. I also have more elaborate games that utilize PC speaker generally as a fallback, rather than useful output. One of them is Planet X3 by the 8-bit guy. If I just run it via NTVDM from a floppy, the only option I'll have is a PC speaker, because NTVDM does not emulate any sound cards by default. And just you listen, how simple the menu track sounds. It wasn't made for a PC speaker, clearly. Here's where VDM sound comes into play. That little utility allows you to emulate anything, starting from AdLib, ending with Sound Blaster, all within NTVDM. And Planet X3 has an option to pass audio output to an AdLib. Now that sounds far richer, doesn't it? At times you can feel the music track is slowed down by something, perhaps NTVDM inaccuracy or floppy drive limitations. But it's still marginally better than a PC speaker with its 9 voices, especially that the game uses the PC speaker for sound effects as an additional voice. Other benefit of VDM sound is that we can listen to tracker music just like we're supposed to. I know I have Winamp installed and I know Winamp can play S3Ms. It's not just about playing music, we're here for a nostalgia ride. And so I present to you a generic DAW tracker. Nope, it cannot play MP3s. It's all about earlier formats. Let's go ahead and listen to some tracker music. That was great! That's how it feels to listen to period correct music on a period correct Windows XP computer. Now that all the problems mentioned in a previous episode were fixed, I can't wait to film other types of content featuring this machine. So here's the surprise for you. The next episode is already recorded, and since I'm on a summer break, it's not gonna be long till it comes out. It'll feature the Microsoft Plus expansion pack for Windows XP. Of course, sealed. We are going to have lots of fun with that computer in the future. I have collected multiple juicy ideas throughout these long 9 months, and they're ready to be implemented. And as a little celebration of the long-awaited completion of the Ultra XP build, I'm gonna show you the full startup for the last time. Thank you for watching this video and sticking around my channel for so long, during my ups and downs. It took me another 5 full days to produce this video, so comment down below if you enjoyed it. It's really my main incentive. Subscribe for more content like this if you want to, and down below are the names of my channel members.